Hello, welcome to Learning Graph Theory. This is the first video and it contains the definition and the fundamentals of graph theory. So any graph is a combination of two objects. One is a vertex and the other is edges. So graph is a pair of set V and E. V is a set of vertices and E is a set of edges. So here is a graph. It has 5 vertices, namely V1, V2, V3, V4 and V5. So these 5 are called the vertices of the graph, and the lines connecting any two vertices are known as the edges of the graph, as shown here. So the vertices of the V set of the graph forms V1 to V5 and the edges forms V1, V2, V2, V5, V5, V4, again V5, V4, and it's a V5, it forms a loop, so V5, V5. So V3 is not linked to any edge as it is not connected to any of the other vertices. So taking the same graph, another way of naming the edges are E1, E2, E4, E5, E3. So the edges can also be named, given another naming convention in the form of E1, E2. Some important terminologies related to graph theory is, first is that two vertices V5 and V4, for example, are end vertices of the edge E5. So V4 and V5 are end vertices of edge E5. Similarly, V1 and V2, V2 and V5 are end vertices of edge E2. Edges that have the same end vertices are parallel. So the end vertices of E4 and E5 are V5 and V4, so they both are parallel. An edge in the form like V5, V5 or VV, that is the starting and the ending vertex of the edge is same, it is known as a loop. A graph that has no parallel path like E4 and E5 in this case is a simple graph. So this is not a simple graph. Edges are adjacent if they share a common end vertices. So V2 is common for edge E1 and E2. So they both are adjacent in this case. The end vertices of a same edge E1 in this case have the end vertex V1 and V2. So V1 and V2 are adjacent. Next is the degree of vertex. So the degree of a vertex is the number of edges that have that vertex as an endpoint. So if you take the case of V1, there is only one edge E1 that is having an endpoint as V1. So the degree of the vertex V1 will be 1, while the degree of the vertex V2 will be 2. A vertex whose degree is 1 is known as a pendant vertex. If the degree of a vertex like V3 in this case is 0, the degree of P3 is 0. So it is known as an isolated vertex.